and welcome back to Positive Vibrations. My name is Terrence Davenport, and I hope you're having an awesome and beautiful day today. I just wanted to make a quick video to respond to one of my Patreon supporters. He commented on my Plus V update, and he asked me some questions here. And these are the questions in this order. The first question is, what is a principle and what are yours? The second question is, what should our pursuit of happiness, or what should be our pursuit of happiness? And number 3 is, why does coffee taste good? Number 4 is share your story of New York. And number 5 is, through your eyes and imagination, what does a perfect world look like? These are some really awesome questions, actually, and I'm really excited that you asked these. The supporter of my channel here who asked these questions later on became the first person to support me on Patreon. So this is hopefully a way that I can give back to you. So for the first question, I wanted to. I'm not going to answer these in the correct order, but I'm just going to answer them as they come to mind. And for the first one, I want to answer, why does coffee taste good? I guess that's really a matter of preference. I don't know that coffee does taste good. I mean, I know that if you add a lot of sugar and a lot of creamer to your coffee, it tastes good. But, you know, I personally never drank coffee black. Well, I have drunk it, but that was never my preference. I never enjoyed drinking black coffee. I think coffee on its own tastes very bitter, actually. And I don't know if you've ever eaten coffee beans just on their own, but they're almost uneatable. Next up, what should be our pursuit of happiness? What should our pursuit of happiness be? This question is such a huge question. I couldn't answer that in a way that would actually make sense for any one person besides myself. Because what my pursuit of happiness is, or might not be the same for everyone else. But I think if I could give any bit of advice that would be a pursuit of happiness that everyone should follow, is that you should find what it is that you're passionate about. You should find what it is that you love doing, that you're good at, that makes you feel right, and you should find a way that you can do that as a career, and find a way that your day-to-day work isn't something that brings you down, isn't something that tears you apart, isn't something that destroys you on the inside, but that your day-to-day work can be something that builds you up and makes you feel bright and positive. And this may not apply to everyone, but I believe I think that everyone could do a lot better if they had a companion out there. I believe in the idea of finding someone that on this earth that you can connect with and exchange your energy with in a positive way. I believe in finding someone that you can connect with on a spiritual level. So maybe it's not the same as it is for me, where my ideal is finding one single woman to fit my romantic companionship. But I think that you should find people that you connect with. And I don't think that you can really be happy on this planet without connecting with anyone, because loneliness really sucks. So get out there and connect with some people. Um, what's the next question here? Let's see. What is a principle and what are yours? Gosh. Well, let me try and answer this one and the question number 5 as well, because the question number 5 is, through your eyes and imagination, what does a perfect world look like? And that's a little less personal, so I can answer that one a little better. And that one will help describe what my principles kind of are. I believe that a perfect world would be a world where everyone does love their job, where everyone does feel like their job is uplifting and inspiring to them and makes them feel good about themselves. I think that in a perfect world, no one will have any weakness, because wherever someone has a weakness, they will have a neighbor who will be willing to help them out, where that particular weakness is that neighbor's strength. And everyone will be helping everyone in such a harmonious fashion, such a tight-knit, well-knit group of people, that no one will have a weakness because everyone will be working together. If anyone was altering their body for any reason, it would be so that they could help out people in greater ways. In a perfect world, I think that we might even have the use of cybernetics. I would think that there would be a way to use cybernetic gloves, or that could make you crush bricks in your hand, or lift up a car if someone got trapped underneath a vehicle, or something dangerous like that, or shoes that you could wear that would have leg braces that could make your legs build muscle, so that you don't have to worry about muscle degeneration as you grow older. But also, the shoes could make you jump higher and run faster and carry greater weight. And this is the kind of thing that would be in a perfect world, is we'd be utilizing technologies for the sake of love, for the sake of greater unity and purpose with one another. Like, I think in a perfect world, we would use technology in such a way that it wouldn't be expensive, but instead would be like a gift. Anyone who had an idea to use these items, or to make these inventions, would make them solely for the purpose of benefiting the world around them, and not even want to make money off of them. But instead, I almost wonder if in a perfect society, money in a monetary sense or in a currency value won't be a thing, because I don't think that the dollar bill really makes a perfect society. Maybe that would build a greater harmonious relationship with the people, to not have something that would cause them to covet, or not have something that they could try to get to have more than because money ends up being such a thing of contention, ends up being such a division, such a dividing factor. And I think that in my idea of a perfect world, there wouldn't be any who were excessively rich or any who were excessively poor. I think that everyone would be on relatively level ground, and money just ends up being something that people can have more of than the people around them. And it ends up being this big competition of who can have the most money. And that kind of division that creates a type of bullying attitude, where people try and will stab each other in the back to get a promotion over their coworker, who, when honestly your co-worker should be someone that you cooperate with, should be someone that is your partner, that you work with to better the values of the company and yourself as a whole. So I think that empathy has to be a fundamental quality in my idea of a perfect world. I don't want to be generic or say anything like a blanket statement. I think that a perfect world would be a world where everyone loves each other, you know. But that's kind of the case. That's kind of, you know, all of the qualities that I just described about empathy uh, come from the idea of love, of loving yourself and loving the people around you, and loving God as well. Uh, in fact, loving God more than you love yourself or the people around you. And in my idea of a perfect world, everyone would have a relationship with God and love themselves for being a child of God, for uh, recognizing their own divine potential. Uh, I think that everyone would be a lot happier knowing that they have much greater responsibility, but much greater purpose in life. Uh, Greater feelings of joy and happiness. More people would be doing things that made them feel good. Uh, you know, there would be a lot more family get-togethers and activities, a lot more board games, a lot more sports being played, a lot more artistic pursuits, creativity. There'd be a lot more singing troops and dancing groups, and you know, yeah. I mean, my idea of a perfect world might be a little cliched. It might be a picture out of like a Dr. Seuss book of, you know, all the people singing together after all the presents were stolen. But it's like that really is what I think is a beautiful perfect world, is everyone loving each other. You would have a lot less people who want to be bathroom cleaners for their job. You know, you'd have a lot less people who would accept minimum wage. You'd have a lot less people who would abuse substances because they would love themselves. They wouldn't be self-destructive behaviors because people would love themselves and they would love their neighbors. If they saw anyone forming any destructive habits or patterns or behaviors, they would immediately be comforted by the near people, loved ones who can recognize that they're acting a little out of the usual, or hey, what happened? Is it because your family member just passed? You know, I heard about that and I was wondering, are you okay? You know, compassion and charity, and these are qualities of love. So yeah, my idea of a perfect world would be a world that is founded on the principles of unity, empathy, and trust. Honesty needs to be a key factor. You need to be able to trust that, just like when you're on a basketball team with someone, when you pass them the ball, you trust that they're going to do something that benefits the entire group, that benefits the entire team once you pass them that ball. You have to trust that they're going to make the right choices, and that they're going to do it with not only their best interest in mind, but the whole team's interest. And I think that in a perfect society, in a perfect world, or, you know, in my imagination, there would be a lot more of this camaraderie. There would be a lot more of this teamwork, this friendship. Yeah, so looks like the next question here is, what is a principle and what are yours? Well, through my explanation of what a perfect world is. I hope that you got an idea of what some of my principles are. Principles in general are a great way to establish your life, and to have principles set in such a way that create the best life for yourself. But principles really don't have any don't have any power whatsoever unless they're enforced with a great amount of self-discipline. And discipline is not punishment. I think that this distinction needs to be made when talking about principles, is that your principles must be enforced with strong self-discipline. You gotta clear temptation out of your life and really, buckle down on whatever it is that you're doing. In fact, very inspirational guy, Terry Crews, famous actor as well. He has a YouTube channel where he talks about the keys to self-discipline. I'm actually going to put a link for that in the description down below. Please do check that out. It's a really awesome video, and I really love the video that this guy puts up. He hasn't put up videos in a little while though. I wish he'd get back to it. But I really love the idea of having principles, that when someone has principles set, in fact, you see it in movies a lot, where someone is very strict in their principles and is a straight shooter, is a man of their word kind of guy. You immediately, or at least for myself, I know that I immediately admire this person. I immediately revere this person as a respectable person, because they have an understanding or a sense of standards that allow for them to excel in being the best them that they can be. And I think that that's really what the whole principle behind principles is to set a standard for yourself so that you can be the best you that you can be. And don't set your expectations for yourself too high. Don't set them too low. Set them above average. You know you can do it. And then looks like the last question here is, share your story of New York. Or I suppose it's not a question, it's a suggestion. And I'm going to do that. Not in this video, because I've already, talked your guys' ear off enough in this video. But I do plan on sharing my story of New York, and it'll be sometime down the road, down the line a little bit. Yeah. So thank you so much for your suggestions, for your questions, for your comments, and thank you so much for supporting me on Patreon. I really do appreciate it so much. And anyone else out there who wants to ask me any questions or wants to get any response from me, right now would be the time to get in on it, because I'm pretty much just gonna leave the floor open to anyone who wants to ask questions. I'm sure in the future I'm gonna have such a following that it's gonna be quite difficult to get in touch with me. You're gonna have to be a Patreon supporter to kind of put yourself in front of the line. But that's not today. That's not tomorrow. It's maybe a couple weeks. I don't know. But yes, thank you to everyone who does support me. Just by viewing the videos, just by commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing, all of that good stuff. It doesn't take anything away from you, but it adds a whole lot to me. So thank you, because you guys make my day. Please continue being awesome, and having principles, having standards, pursuing happiness, drink drinks that taste good, and just try and be what you think of the ideal for the perfect person would be. try and be that. Try and be the perfect you. And I'm gonna try and be the perfect me. And we'll have to let each other know how it goes. Alright, you have an excellent day today, and God bless you.